It sounds like racketeering to me. I don't know, but it's interesting what they set up is in many ways again, this was set up long time ago, but was the Church of Pope Francis. Okay, we don't really have a church anymore. Everybody's leaving because nobody's interested in our banal on the spot liturgies or our watered down doctrine. So let's just become a government NGO, and our purpose is to work, for the government. I mean, it's essentially the Church of Pope Francis. We want to be an international NGO, not a religious organization.
Yes, but here's what Francis said
Yeah.
at the beginning of his pontificate. This is so typical. They always say the opposite of what they think and do. Here's what he said in April 2013. The church is not an NGO. It's a love story. But when an organization takes first place, love falls down in the church. Poor thing. Becomes an NGO. And that is not the way forward. But that is exactly what the Church of Francis is. It's an
Right.
NGO.
Yep.
It's
Well,
it's involved in climate change,
okay.
illegal immigration,
Region.
you name it. Social justice issues of all kinds having nothing to do with the salvation of souls. Oh, the four last things: death, judgment, heaven, hell.
Right.
We don't talk about that anymore.
Or becoming spokesman for the WHO to promote certain newly developed substances that they were trying to inject into people.
Yes,
Right.
well,
Exactly.
I mean, of course, the Pope was all behind the COVID lockdowns. It was our duty to submit to
Yeah.
arbitrary government commands.
Exactly. Well, interestingly, I thought quite ironically, the week that the church admitted they were sort of on the government multi-million dollar handout, really a long nightmare came to an end. Mr. Theodore McCarrick, formerly priest Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, finally went to his eternal judgment. And again, the destruction this one man worked in the church is extraordinary. From essentially grooming a ring of sexually deviant clergy, abusing many people, to being the point person for Pope Francis to negotiate the secret deal with China, the deal that's so good we can't tell you what's in it, to essentially capitulate to China, has finally met his eternal judge.
Yeah, it reminds me of the pilgrimage that Pope Benedict made to Fatima in 2010 when he was on the airplane. He was asked a question that he had pre-selected.
Hmm.
He wanted this question to be asked about this vision that the Vatican published in 2000,
Hmm.
depicting the Pope being executed outside a devastated city after he barely escapes with his life. What does this secret involve? He says. And out of nowhere, Benedict says it shows that the greatest persecution of the church comes not from without, but from within, from sin
Hmm.
in the church. And we're seeing this today, he said, in modo veramente terrificante, in a really terrifying way. Not like other times when we have corruption in the church, he said. That, he said, we've always known. But now we're seeing it in a really terrifying way. The worst attack on the church comes from within, from sin in the church. That's a verbatim quote. Now, the vision says nothing, absolutely nothing about sin in the church or an enemy within. The vision shows the Pope being executed by soldiers who are external enemies of the church. So here we have the situation with McCarrick revealed as an element of what the third secret must be talking about. The pervasive homosexual scandal in the church is an element of sin within the church, showing that the greatest enemy is within. And I'm finishing up a sequel to my book on liberty. And in that sequel, we have these popes, particularly Pius XII, who foresee a developing situation in the church. Pius XII said when he was Eugenio Pacelli in 1931, the Secretary of State for Pius XI, he said, "A day will come when the church will doubt as Peter doubted,
Hmm.
who will be tempted to believe that man has become God." So this is what we're seeing, the fulfillment, obviously, of the third secret. And that revelation must be to talk about what's going on in the church in a text that we have yet to see. But this
Hmm.
is what Benedict was talking about. And it certainly wasn't in the vision, so he must be privy to information about the McCarricks of the church
Yeah.
that the Virgin revealed beforehand and we're not allowed to see. But that's what we're living through right now.
Well, he also said it, not in that interview, but another time, that the church in the future may be very small, that the church may be reduced to a handful of faithful, which again, I always wondered if that came from the secret as well. That that prediction of his.
Oh, well, this is the great renewal of Vatican II.
Right.
The church will be reduced to a tiny remnant.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. The church will open to the world, and then everyone will empty out, and then you'll have a tiny remnant.
Yep.
Well, it's a brilliant strategy. Who knew?
But the remnant bishops want their palaces and cars, so they better become an NGO. I mean, that's right. Because a remnant can't support the life you're accustomed to.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
it's all about. It's basically a lifestyle issue for
Mhm.
these bishops. They lost a lot of extra income that was redounding to their benefit and to the benefit of the ecclesiastical bureaucracy.
Mhm.
So, I mean, Trump's done the right thing.